Well, hello and welcome to another installment of the Mililani Minute videos. The series that we are doing is based off of the book called Cornerstones. It's 200 questions and answers that you can use to teach your children about God, about theology, and about what we believe. It's from the book called Cornerstones. And just as a reminder, this is the children's version of that book. Again, called Cornerstones. It's got great artwork and simple question and answers for your children. For parents that are struggling with maybe feeling like you're not sure of all the answers, if they ask follow-up questions, or as you're trying to teach these questions, there is the parent guide that goes along with this. You can just go to Amazon and type in Cornerstones 200 questions and answers to teach truth, and it'll pop up. The author's name is Brian Dembowczyk. He is the managing editor for the Gospel Project for Kids. And so we're using this in the videos that I've been doing. We finished up Theology Proper, or talking about God himself, and now we're talking about creation. So today we're going to look at 3 simple questions, and then we'll give you the 3 answers. We'll talk about those as we move on. But here we're talking about creation. So the very first question we should ask is, who created everything? So again, you can ask your children, who created everything? The answer is God created the world and everything else in the universe. So who created everything? God created the world and everything else in the universe. We know that because of Genesis. Genesis tells us, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So we know that God is active in creation. We know that he is the one who worked it out. He's the one who spoke it into existence. He's the one who began time. The next question that we ask is not only who created, but why? So the question is, why did God create everything? This is a pretty important question because the answer gives us really a simple answer, but it goes far beyond just creation. And I'll explain that in just a second. So again, the question you would ask is, why did God create everything? The answer, God created everything for his glory. So God created everything for his glory. Why does God do anything? It's for his glory. Why did God create humans? So that we could have a relationship and bring glory to him. Why does God allow certain things to happen? Because those are the means through which he brings glory to himself. And so everything that happens is for God's glory. And I know that when we talk about that and we say, well, God does everything to bring himself glory, we look at that and we think, well, that's kind of strange, right? That's pretty odd that God is so consumed with his own glory. Well, he's God, and so he can be. God gets to choose what he wants to be active in doing. God gets to decide what he wants to do and why he wants to do it. He's God, and it all belongs to him. So why did he create everything? He created it for his glory. The third question we want to talk about today is, how did God create everything? So we asked, who created everything? God created everything in the world and everything else in the universe. Why did God create everything? God created everything for his glory. How did God create everything? God created, this is the answer, God created everything by his spoken word. So when we say, how did he do it? He spoke it into existence. Now that's hard for us to understand. Really, we can't truly wrap our minds around that because none of us are able to do that. When I hear about this, I think of creating things. I think God created. And it reminds me of that famous scene from Castaway when Tom Hanks' character builds a fire. And he looks out and he says, look at what I've created. It was a terrible example or a terrible impression, but you get the point, right? He's excited because he made fire. Well, did he? You see, he merely took the already created ingredients that he needed. He needed some type of fuel source, the wood. He needed some type of spark to create that fire and light that fuel and something to combust and create fire. And so did he really create anything? No, he just put the right ingredients in the right spot at the right time for science, as we understand the chemical reaction that took place that resulted in fire. Well, when we talk about God creating something, the ingredients didn't exist. There's an idea, and it's the Latin is ex nihilo, and that means out of nothing. So how did God create? He created out of nothing. When God spoke, there wasn't anything there. It was just Him, just the three persons of God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And He says, "Let there be light," and there's light. Let there be a firmament between the waters of the earth and the waters of the sky, and it happened. How did this take place? Because God spoke it into existence. We know this from John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And so I bring that up for two reasons. One, to show God is the one who created everything, that God is the one who created it for His glory, and that God is the one who created it by His spoken word. But John refers to the Word being Jesus. We know in Genesis 1, it says, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth." We know that the Spirit was hovering over the face of the deep. So we know all three members of the Trinity were active. All three persons were there, and they were active in creation. I'm excited about this study and this series as we go through creation over this week and the next week that I'll be doing these videos. And I hope that they're an encouragement to you, an encouragement to your family, and especially your children as you're teaching them using this resource. If you have questions, contact us. But I look forward to giving you a few more questions tomorrow. Have a great day.